What if the most popular career advice is a lie, a dangerous fantasy sold to you by everyone around, from university counselors to billionaire CEOs, a mantra that makes corporations richer at your expense? I paid $50,000 to learn this lesson because in the world of real money, feelings don't matter. Only cold, precise data matters. And let me tell you, the data is crystal clear. Do what you love is the worst financial advice in history. In the next few minutes, I'm going to tear apart this lie and show you the real plan that the wealthy actually use. A strategy that flips this entire idea completely upside down. Look, this isn't about destroying your dreams. It's about building a life where you have both freedom and money, so you can pursue them without going broke. We've had this story drilled into our heads since childhood. Find what you're passionate about, what you do for free, and just do it. And the money, supposedly, will magically appear on its own. It's a beautiful, inspiring, uplifting fairy tale. But for the overwhelming majority, it's a statistical fantasy. Let's look at the real numbers, not the dreams. Passion often drives people into brutal, oversaturated markets. Research shows that about 90% of all startups fail, most of them within the very first couple of years. But what's even more important, 42% of startups shut down for one simple reason. There simply was no market demand for their product, no matter how much you love your idea. If people aren't willing to pay for it, your passion becomes an expensive hobby. What about creative professions? It's even harsher there. We romanticize the image of the eternally struggling artist or actor, but we ignore the silent majority who eventually just give up and go back to a regular job just to pay off their debts. Have you ever wondered why this happens? If following your passion is the key to success, then why are only 16% of employees worldwide truly engaged in their work? Shouldn't that number be much, much higher? The psychological pressure of this path is enormous. The drive to monetize your joy turns an outlet into a prison. It leads to anxiety and a constant feeling of failure because real life doesn't look like a bright Instagram feed. Research shows that up to 80% of people regret their choice of major. This advice sets you up for disappointment from the very start. So if follow your passion is a trap, what's the alternative? The first bitter truth is this: intense passion is almost always the result of success, not the original cause of it. The main ambassador of this mantra is Steve Jobs. His Stanford speech in 2005 became nothing short of a legend. "You've got to find what you love," he said solemnly. A great, very catchy and inspiring slogan. The only problem is that Steve Jobs himself didn't do it that way. Steve's early interests were Zen Buddhism and Eastern mysticism. He got into technology almost by accident, trying to make quick money. He didn't found Apple because of a burning passion for building computers. He simply saw an opportunity, developed a skill, and became incredibly good at it. And only then, after reaching mastery and world success, did the passion come. Passion can blind you, making you ignore real opportunities. This brings us to author Cal Newport's concept, career capital. Think of it as a kind of currency on the job market. You accumulate it by mastering rare and valuable skills, skills that the market is truly willing to pay big money for. The more career capital you have, the more leverage you hold to demand what makes work great. More money, more control over projects, and, of course, more autonomy. Passion is the feeling you get when you're really good at something. It's that confidence that only comes with mastery. Nobody loves being mediocre at their craft. You don't find a passionate career. You build the skills that let you create one. Here's the part of the story they conveniently leave out at graduation. Who benefits the most from an army of people doing what they love? Employers, of course. The passion principle is a corporation's absolute dream. When you flood the market with bright-eyed, passionate people competing for a handful of dream jobs, game design, journalism, fashion, what do we think happens to the value of their labor? It collapses. Research from Duke University's Fuqua School of Business confirmed this. In a series of experiments, they called it passion exploitation. They found managers consider it more legitimate to exploit passionate employees. People think it's fair to ask a passionate person to work longer hours, without extra pay, and to do tasks outside their job description. Why? Because they love what they do. Their passion is seen as a form of compensation. Have you ever had to work for free because it's for the experience? That's the dark secret of so-called dream jobs. That's how entire industries are built on the backs of underpaid interns. The system is designed to favor those who can afford to work for free. It creates a massive barrier for talented people from ordinary families. Corporations save billions on labor costs, and meanwhile, they tell you how lucky you are to just be here. Do you feel the pain of realizing that your passion is being used against you? Now imagine that you can flip the game. I have walked this path, losing $50,000 on passion ideas. To make sure you don't repeat my mistakes, I share my system in the Telegram channel, Austin on Fin. Join via the link in the description. It's free. So if passion careers are a trap, where is the money? It's in the so-called boring careers. The ones they don't make inspiring Hollywood movies about. Engineering, accounting, plumbing, logistics. These are the professions that actually form the backbone of our economy. The book, The Millionaire Next Door, spent decades studying the habits of the wealthy, and what they found genuinely shocked people. The vast majority of millionaires did not get rich from prestigious jobs. They were owners of decidedly unglamorous businesses, welding contractors, pest control companies, auto parts suppliers. These people chased profitability and market demand, not passion. Let's simply compare starting salary data for graduates. For an engineer or IT specialist, they are significantly higher than, for example, graduates in communications or social sciences. And 2/3 of millionaires are business owners, not employees. A practical career is like building the foundation of your house. It's not the most exciting or glamorous part of the work. You pour the concrete and raise a solid frame, but without that stable foundation, the beautiful dream house you imagine will simply collapse at the first financial difficulty. A stable, well-paying job gives you a financial base. It gives you savings and builds a retirement plan. And most importantly, it gives you peace of mind. You don't worry about paying next month's bills. And only from that position of strength can you pursue your passions, without the crushing pressure of needing to earn a living from them. So here's the real action plan that actually works. Here's how to build a life that is both prosperous and fulfilling. Step 1. Shift your focus from passion to professionalism. Stop asking, what do I love? And start asking, what does the market value? Research in-demand skills and look at employment reports. Which industries are growing? Which roles are companies desperately trying to fill? Think like a smart investor, not a naive dreamer. Step 2. Accumulate career capital in a practical field. Choose one of these valuable skills and commit yourself to mastering it. Take coding courses. Earn the right certification. Become the best specialist in your company. I went through this myself, losing $50,000 chasing creative ideas. The turning point came when I forced myself to learn quantitative analysis, the boring, heavy mathematical side of trading. Honestly, I hated it at first, but I became good at it, and that skill became my ultimate advantage. Step 3. Exchange your capital for autonomy. Once you become so good they can't ignore you, you gain leverage. Now you can negotiate a serious salary increase. You can push for a promotion, or you can negotiate for more time. The most valuable asset. That control over your own life is the real source of happiness. Step 4. Lay your passion on top of your stability. Now, from a position of financial strength, you can choose freely. Use your free time and money to pursue your passion purely for joy, without any pressure to monetize it. Form that band, write that novel, paint that picture. Or you may discover that mastery in a, quote, boring job created a new passion. That's exactly what happened to me in trading. I don't love the stress, but I'm deeply fascinated by the intellectual challenge. The challenge of winning a complex game and the freedom that profit gives. Do what you love is the most insidious lie of our generation. It's a privilege very cleverly disguised as advice. It tells you that if you don't leap out of bed joyfully, you're a failure. It benefits corporations who want to pay you with experience. And it benefits the wealthy who can afford to let their children find themselves. The real path to a life you'll love is to flip the script. Stop trying to do what you love. Instead, learn to love what you do by becoming the best at it. Stop chasing a feeling. Start building your future.